All right, so people, I got something I want to talk about to you guys. I talked a little bit about some of it in the previous video, and I'm gonna start this video by saying, now Jonathan Coachman, he referred to Bailey as being boring and washed up, and he has his own show. But for him to say that, I also feel like there could be other people within the company, the higher ups, that feel the same way about Bailey. And I don't think that's far fetched just behind the way they use Bailey. And when she was pulled, from the last pay per view, just for the sake of Becky Lynch coming out to take her place. Well, like I said, Becky Lynch was another one. People were sick of her. They were basically, talking about how she keeps getting title shots and they're sick of Becky Lynch. And she came back and it shows you who they value more. Now, for that to happen, do you guys think that Bailey is sitting home smiling about it? Do you think that Bailey is okay with that? So when you have a job to do and then you just go out and do it, even if it angers you or makes you feel unappreciated or whatever, that's not a good feeling. So I don't know what the situation is. I feel like there's more that, look, character changes necessary. A change of a look that you have can be very necessary. Braun Strowman, Shotzi, you know, they will let go. Now, how do you use Bailey going forward? Is Bailey okay being used to just put other talent over? Because pretty much it's obvious the WWE don't have faith in her. And like I said, she was a workhorse. She was on Raw, she's on SmackDown, she's on NXT. All of these people that talk about loyalty to the WWE end up getting let go, or at some point they ask for their release. And basically, before they release you, they want to try to make you look awful. So therefore, if you do pop up at another company, preferably AEW, everybody saw you pretty much look like crap on your way out. Ricochet, Adam Copeland wasn't expected to come to AEW. They thought they were going to give him some Legends deal, and no, he wasn't expected to pop up at AEW. He didn't do anything wrong, but if they knew he was coming to AEW, he would have lost that match, his last match against Sheamus, right? So he'd have lost that match. Either way, wrestlers have options, and to have another multi-billionaire running the company, well, yeah. And I say that because, these other companies that can't pay them what they will make at the WWE, well, AEW can, and they do. So if Bailey, and my thing is about value. It's not just about bringing somebody in just because they was in the WWE. No. One of the things Coachman said, I don't think she ever sold a ticket at all. I don't know. I do know that she was extremely popular before, but like I said, they just completely destroyed her momentum. Now, with that being said, I don't know if Bailey's going to end up leaving. If they don't work things out, I don't, like what is her role going to be? So it's only inevitable that if Bailey's not ready to retire and walk away from wrestling, but the WWE don't have anything for her, and they just putting her in a bunch of junk matches and bouncing her around, if she's okay with that, then that's on her. But if she decides, no, hell no, I deserve better and I want more, yeah, she'll end up with her best friend, Mercedes Moné, in AEW. I don't see the purpose of her going to NXT, TNA or MLW. I don't. They don't even have a full female roster in MLW, so I can't even see that happening. NXT. TNA. Nah, and even NXT for that matter. But I don't know. I just don't think they see value in her. And I said this already a while ago. Now, Braun Strowman, same thing with him. Look at how they use Braun Strowman. Now, these are the same people, like I said, that if they left Shotzi, if they left and went to AEW, these foolish fans will overlook the facts and start running their mouths, getting their personal feelings, making it about them. Out of all of the releases, Braun and Shotzi are the two that I wouldn't mind seeing in AEW for sure. Out of everybody else on that roster. And look, they let Shayna Baszler go, right? Forget the other chick's name. But you got Zoe there by herself. They already crapped all over Zoe. So, what are they going to do with Zoe? She might be next. They've done nothing with her. When I was watching Zoe from the very beginning, I said, I like her. I like her. She's good in the ring. They brought her on the main roster, and pretty much she's done much of nothing since she's been there. Her, Sonya Deville, and Shayna, they put them in this little group just to give them something to do. They've done nothing. They accomplished nothing. They won nothing. And you forget that they're even there. And the last storyline that Zoe had was when they matched her up with Trish Stratus. And you know how long ago that was? And even then, it was nothing that you really cared about. There's nothing to really like, hey, you know what? Let me watch that again. Let me run that episode back. I watch a lot of things over and over. So, yeah, and so I think that with all these people that's released, they're going to find somewhere to go. But I don't see value in any of them that were released outside of Braun and possibly Shotzi. Shotzi's cool in the ring. I like Shotzi. I think she'll be a good mix-up in the women's division. Braun, instead of them letting him, they want to make him Professor Hulk instead of letting him be, instead of letting him Hulk out and be World Breaker Hulk, instead of making him World Breaker Braun, they want to make him Professor Braun. They want to make him, just a gimmick. Run around the ring, shoulder block, oh, run around, shoulder block, oh, run around, shoulder block, oh, roll into the ring, finishing move. Braun Strowman gets pinned. Yeah, as usual. And so, yeah, I think that with Braun, out of everybody, he would have the most value. I don't know how much, though. Because people exaggerate how much star power a person has just because they come from the WWE, right? I don't know how much value he'll have. But I do feel like true wrestling fans, people that appreciate, really like pro wrestling, will realize they know Braun was treated wrong. And that he has a chance to come to a whole new company and now be worth something. I mean, look at Shelton Benjamin. Look at Bobby Lashley, an MVP. Look at Ricochet. Okay, Ricochet wasn't doing nothing in the WWE. Everybody. Look at these guys that come. So, guys like Miro, who basically became nothing but a Rusev Day gimmick and still couldn't win shit. And they end up screwing him over. Aleister Black. These guys left and come back, and what are they doing? Come back to what? Like, what's the situation? SmackDown lost over 200-something thousand subscribers. I put the post up. Okay. During a returning Aleister Black match. So how valuable was he? And this is my whole thing. I think what people mistake is this. You leave WWE, you come to AEW, right? Lights go off, come on, you're in the ring, or you come out and, they recognize who you are. How big of a draw you are is where people don't understand. Yeah, they recognize who you are. They've seen you on WWE TV. Now you're on AEW, right? But what extra eyes are you bringing? No, these are the same people that watch WWE as well, so they recognize you. Don't be stupid. Don't think WWE fans don't watch AEW, because they definitely do. How do you think they know who the hell these wrestlers are when they come? Where the hell else did you know Jade Cargill from? You understand what I mean? Of course they know who these people are. They pulled the same thing. If you remember when AJ Styles came to the WWE and he came out and debuted in the Royal Rumble, you heard that ovation he got. You think those fans really knew him from Ring of Honor or New Japan? You think that's where they knew him from? Come on, man. It's a no-brainer, but people don't have no brains. So they don't think about these simple things, but those guys that come from the WWE do not always bring value. And especially when you have dumb fans that say things like, well, Braun Strowman is my favorite wrestler, but I'm not going to watch in AEW because I am pro WWE. Like, yeah, shut up. Anyway, I would like to see Braun, Shotzi, and if they let me, I just feel like Bayley needs a makeover, man. Like she needs a character change. She doesn't have any character. That's the thing. She doesn't have any character. And this is a company that always talk about storyline. Like somebody said something one day, and I felt a lot of this guy's points, but he said one of the dumbest things that I ever heard. The guy said he was roasting the WWE, and it was funny because this was like a few minutes after I had uploaded one of mine. And he just was talking about how garbage the WWE is and the storylines and this and that, and how this is supposed to be a company that is heavily based on storylines. Like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're not putting, it's like they're not even, the effort is very minimal. And he's going on and on. But then he says, I don't watch wrestling for wrestling. I watch wrestling for the story. I'm like, that's dumb as fuck. That's like saying, I go to the restaurant for the menu, not the food. The fuck are you here for then? We're just going to sit and stare at my damn menu? Oh my God. They have some great things on this menu. I'm not going to eat it though. I just love looking at the menu. You don't watch wrestling for wrestling. You watch it for the story. And this is a person judging AEW. WWE diehard who's pissed off at WWE for what they're doing, but also don't like AEW. They have no storylines. They absolutely do. But making a comment that dumb, what is it to really say? Now, I want to say this. I was reading something that Triple H, I was reading an article, which was a reaction to Triple H telling the WWE audience to fuck off. Do you guys know that there's a lot of people starting to see things the way I see it? Yeah. People are saying now the same exact shit that I told you guys. Okay? He flat out said, Tony Khan, people can talk all the shit they want. They like, but Tony Khan, he conducts business far better than people understand. And people are just talking shit. Tony Khan's doing a phenomenal job in AEW. You just have far too many people that just are spoiled fucking brats. They want everything the exact way that they imagine it. And if it doesn't happen that way, they say that it's not a good. Sounds familiar? But he also said Tony Khan would never tell his audience to fuck off. Does that sound familiar too? What did I just say in my videos? Plain and simple. If Tony Khan told his audience to fuck off, we would never hit the end of that shit. Triple H, fuck off. Tony Khan says, I take whatever, you don't, look, hate is hate. Okay, people just running their mouths, talking shit, that's, But in terms of people saying, I would like to see this and that, this is what I think should happen, blah, 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 whatever, right? I would like to see more of this. I'm not talking about somebody sitting there writing scripts for you as if they just saying shit, because everybody has opinions, okay? But What I'm saying is Tony Khan takes the criticism, hearing what the complaints are. If the majority of the complaints is about this particular, okay, we're going to change that. If you understand, it's not just about, oh, somebody said take Mercedes Moné off TV. Okay, so we got to take her off stupid shit like that's not what I'm talking about. Just, like certain things that just needs tweaking at times and stuff like that. But I've seen the changes. I've seen what's been going on. It's like when you take the video game, right? Instead of people keep dwelling on what happened, on release date they should have, yeah, we know, coulda, woulda, shoulda, and they didn't. We get all of that. Relaunching this game would not be hard. People think it won't be. I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening, and people are not paying attention. Look at this Cyberpunk game that's coming out on Switch. This is not new. It's just never been on Nintendo. On a Nintendo console, it's not new. But now Nintendo Switch players can actually play these games that the Switch 1 couldn't handle. So now, if it's on Steam, if it's on Xbox, if it's on PlayStation, Switch can handle it too. Now, if like right now I haven't heard any news, so I can't tell you what they're doing. But in my words, let me say, I think it would be stupid if Tony Khan is going to continue this game like he said and not already be in the process of getting a lot of work done. That way, when they announce the relaunch of it, and that's what it would be, a relaunch. Whatever they've added new, whatever type of things that they're working on to like add more wrestlers, more game modes, and whatever. That way, and what I think would be smart, I would fucking do this on a Monday, like the day that we announce the relaunch. It would be a fucking a little quick video package of all the different new shit, and it would be like available this Friday. Do you know how many fucking people? You do realize certain videos within minutes have like 100, like damn, like 100,000 views already. Now that this game is on PS5 as well, and it's already on the Switch as well, Xbox. So now everybody will have it. Everybody. And guess what? People see this trailer and a quick video package of what they've added and stuff. Everybody's like, oh shit. Or 2K25 comes out, they got the island and all that. Well, okay, it's no longer new. And once again, if you notice, you don't see a bunch of people playing this shit. You don't see a bunch of people making videos about it. Yeah, people are still making videos of 2024 of their own federations and shit like that. They don't really, you understand what I mean? So my point, there's room definitely for it. And if you already have the game, now all of a sudden, the people who don't have all the DLC packs will go, shit, I'm getting this. And guess what? Little by little, guess what? I'm going to get that one too. One at a time, they'll start to get all of them. But they have the game. And they want more than the base game. It won't be hard. I mean, Fight Forever, right, is doing a relaunch. So many of these games are doing relaunches. So it's not as difficult as people think, And once again, people listen to all the naysayers. And to show you how many fake fucking people is in this world. This is why I expose things to you guys. And I told you, remember, I was even posting comments. Oh, I only posted this. I only bought this game because it's free on PS5. Right. So that's the only reason you bought it, because it's free. And you took the time out your fucking so-called busy schedule to start recording yourself playing the game. Every fucking day, new video. All week long, new video. Oh, and you only bought it because it's free. Well, it's obviously you like the fucking game. Or you're just too stupid to realize that you don't. Because for you to sit every day playing this game and recording yourself playing it. Really? And that's the only reason you got it, because it was free? Well, regardless to why you got it, you got it. And you're continually playing this game all the time. So it's not as hard as people think. You guys need to be less upset. You shouldn't be upset at all with anybody because they're just being honest about this shit. But you guys should be more offended by God telling you to fuck off than people telling you the truth. And for every channel that's speaking up about what this man said and how people are being treated, I mean, unless you like being disrespected, it's like Triple H saying the people that don't like the show that's complaining, they're not real, they're bots. Oh, so only the people that like your show are bots. Okay, so by that logic, we can make the same claim for AEW or any other company. Oh, they're just bots. Without the fans, you don't have a company to run, which means you make no money. And that's the one thing I got to say about Tony Khan as well. Another thing is that Tony Khan, he haven't given me a reason to roast his ass yet. You understand what I'm saying? Hopefully he don't. But I've definitely spoken about things, and it's not about roasting people because they have they doing things that, all right, it was a hit or miss this time. I hit kind of, it was all right. It was cool. All right, it was okay show. All right. But you understand what I'm saying? No, that's not what it's about. This format and what you're getting from the WWE right now is what you're going to continue to get. They don't see anything wrong with it. In their minds, fuck y'all. No. This is what we're doing. Stop being a critic and just be a fan. Just take what we give you. Tony Khan at least is listening to the criticism. He's listening to the good and the bad. They're making the changes. The problem is you guys don't know how to change. Because you watch everything basing it on what the machine does. And if the machine isn't doing it, then it's no good. Yet, you're complaining about the machine. And for those who aren't complaining, for those who just accept whatever they give them, okay, you continue to do that. But for you to sit and tell your audience to fuck off, seriously? Seriously? Well, I think when we look at who's who, we start picking, choosing, like Indy Hartwell. I spoke to you guys about Indy Hartwell, who signed with TNA. Okay, cool. Like I said, I like Indy Hartwell, but I don't know what type of value she brings. If you guys don't understand this, let's say, for example, a company get 1 million views, every Tuesday night. All of a sudden, Will Ospreay goes to that company. Now that company is getting 2 million views. That means 1 million people start to tune in because of Will Ospreay. This is what I'm saying. Or, even 500,000 or 200,000 people, whatever the number, right? If it's a noticeable change, whatever the number, that's my point. Those individuals that came to these companies were able to get these eyes on that product. So if you can't do that, right, and you just come to a company and they're paying you a really nice salary, are they paying you what you're worth, or are they paying you just to keep you there? You understand what I'm saying? That's what people are not paying attention to. That's what people are not really understanding. If I'm watching a show, for example, I stopped watching WWE at one point. I just lost interest in it. And then all of a sudden, Goldberg comes. First, Scott Steiner came. Then Eric Bischoff, whatever. And I'm watching, okay, see what Big Papa Pump is doing. Then Scott Steiner pops up. He's on his thing. Goldberg comes, right? What ends up happening, right, is the same way I did that, other people will too. So now it turns into a whole, I'm only watching because of Goldberg, or I'm only watching because of Papa Pumper. There's people that do that. So I can't say, I really can't say uh, how much, how like who's really gonna start watching the show because of certain wrestlers. Because these wrestlers just do not have, they just do not have that type of star power. I know Indy Hartwell is not a big draw. And that's why I said I do like her as a wrestler. I'm not looking at her coming there like, oh, the ratings are gonna go up so much. It's like people that remember her will know, okay, that's Indy Hartwell or whatever. What I'm looking at is once she gets there, what is AEW going to do to boost her up? Because as is, she's just another wrestler on the roster. You see what I'm saying? Now, Braun Strowman would be more of a draw, and people going, oh shit, okay, that's where Braun went. What are they going to do different with Braun? Like when Keith Lee came, for example. In the beginning, for a while, he was in big matches. He was doing his thing. He was having, but Keith Lee, he's a big dude, but his look is plain, man. He's from that Big John Stud. He's like that Big John Stud category. Just a big, solid dude, but they call him the Bearcat or whatever. Like, okay, I'm quick, but I'm big, but I'm quick. There was nothing about his character though, man. And the one thing he did that just I said, this is not good, is he sat there and Keith Lee was only 37, 38 at the time, whatever. And this dude came out, beard all white, hair all white. I'm like, man, you're like an old ass man. What the what? And I told you before, Kevin Nash did that same thing. Remember that when he was in TNA, the Silver Fox? I'm like, bro, you stand up here, all this white hair, white, like, okay. So every kid that's watching you is going, who's this old ass guy, right? You understand what I'm saying? It's not just because you were released. And you got to understand, this is all a growing process. Because now Tony Khan can see, okay, just because you come from WWE, and I'm not saying he didn't know that, just in general, but there's probably people he liked. He probably liked Keith Lee and then thought, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to get him here just to find out, he's really not a draw either. So you have to figure out what you're going to do to add to this character if they're not already a big draw. You see, and this is what I'm saying. Some people are fine as they are, but then there's people that need makeovers, man. There's people that need that character tweak, because everybody just don't have that drawing power. Everybody don't have that presence. And just because you like a wrestler doesn't mean that they're gonna go and just blow everybody out the water and all of a sudden they're the next big thing. So yeah, if I had my way, man, I'm looking at Braun Strowman, I'm looking at Shotzi, and I feel like AEW could do some things with Bayley to to make her character work. When you look at wrestlers from the past and what type of characters they had, the problem with this era of characters is they either try to go over the edge or they try to recreate something that already happened, but with the person that just can't deliver it properly. Like, example, and this time, I was shocked to see Abaddon. Because Abaddon is Undertaker. Abaddon is Boogeyman. Abaddon is Papa Shango. You understand what I'm... So you don't even see characters like that anymore. And I was so glad. That's what I'm thinking. Like, wow, finally. This is what... Finally. And that's what I'm saying. But the character has to work. You can't just give them a look. The matches have to play out. Things have to happen. The wrestlers react a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? That is missing from wrestling in terms of characters. You think Tito Santana could go toe-to-toe with Big John Studd? In today's wrestling, he could. This is what I'm saying, where that art is lost. That's not old school. That's a lost art form. It's a lack of common sense. And you think like me coming from real fighting, I fight for real. I don't do fake shit. Like, it's a turnoff. It's a turnoff. And people will look at that and they'll say, "This bullshit, man. This little ass motherfucker fighting this big dude. Get the fuck out of here." You understand what I'm saying? Oh, but it's just entertainment. Yeah, but you know what? Movies are just movies. But the idea is to get you hooked into it, right? To get you, oh, that was a really good movie. And that's what professional wrestling has started forgetting. So even when there's character remakes, or like, okay, let's make this person's character over, none of these characters are able to grab the imagination of the masses and to get them invested. Characters like Roman Reigns, it's nothing special about his character. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just another guy that, he paid his dues in the WWE, and he came out with this. He went from the Shield to this tribal chief. What does his character do? There's nothing about Roman Reigns. You understand what I'm saying? That, oh shit, his character, nothing. I saw that dying out once. Put you like this. If you look at the era of Bret Hart, once there was no more Yokozuna and Ultimate Warrior and the Papa Shangos, like that era coming after that, that's where you saw wrestling characters changed. So now if you take NWO, Hall, Nash, whatever, those guys, you see, it went more into that. That was the rebirth of, now it's about big fashions and but there was no more. So you had tag teams like Chronic, people that had a menacing look, still had but like there was no more like over the top type wrestlers, right? When I first started watching TNA and I saw Abyss, I said, cool. See, we need this type of stuff, man. Monty Brown, different people that had a certain character about themselves, but it's like, in other words, you don't have any more Jimmy Superfly Snukas, no more Sting, no more Ultimate Warrior, no more. Now, not that I really care. I didn't like the George Animal Steel character. I already did. The Missing Link. I know you're not really crazy. The thing I didn't like about those storylines, like I remember the WWE when they had the Missing Link. They had a story. They did a segment one time. Some of you might remember this. I was a kid and I was just sitting there like, I literally sat there and went like this and just like, where they went into a cave, right? They were in a swamp that led to a cave. You got the water bubbling up and all the different colors and smoke coming in from the dam, the gases coming in from the dam, waters and shit. This is supposed to be the Missing Link's home. And I'm like, how the fuck they get electricity in the cave? Whoever's recording this shit is standing like on the opposite side. They're all like, and they're coming to this cave and Vince and all them and Bobby Heenan, whoever's walking with them, and they're looking around like, and I'm like, okay, like that type of stuff. It just, and I knew as a kid, they wouldn't let a crazy person wrestle. So it was just like, I never saw shit like that when I used to watch NWA, AWA, WCW. And then when they started, like, remember the guy that became Bastion Booger, right? He was Norman the Lunatic in WCW. He used to come out with a straight jacket on. And like I said before, I knew what they were doing, but it was just like, oh, come on, man. I don't want to see this shit, man. And that's where I'm saying now, no, they just need more characters in wrestling, man, that people want to see. And for me personally, man, I just would love to see wrestlers come out and can put great matches on and their characters come into play. And once again, when I say that characters come into play, I mean, just like, for example, if Spider-Man was to fight the Hulk, does Spider-Man use his speed and agility and his smarts and his webbing, or do he just go straight up and fight the Hulk? Because we already know how that outcome would be, right? And this is where wrestling has gotten to that point where even when characters are remade, it's just not the type of characters that grab you. You know, it's not the type of characters that's just like, oh, I really want to see this guy. And so they do have people that I look forward to seeing every week, but none of these characters really stand out, man, to like, it's going to get everybody, or the majority of people, to see it like that. It's starting to get people that don't watch wrestling to watch wrestling. I don't care what none of you motherfuckers say, man. I remember when I was a kid and you didn't know who was about to come out, and then all of a sudden, dun, 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 and the Ultimate Warrior came running out. You was like, yeah, he coming in and fuck somebody up and shit, and get out the ring. And I mean, hey, man, it was exciting. And then you knew the match wasn't going to be long because he was just going to go in there and squash somebody, right? But you was looking forward to it. Those feelings, and this is what people are not understanding. Those feelings, man, people don't have that shit. And it's not about because it was a squash match. It was just his character, man. Just alone had you invested into like what he had to say and everything. I never was crazy about Macho Man, but he had a presence about himself, and I understood that. Yeah, I mean, just the certain look that people have, man. A certain, like I said, the characters got to play out in the ring. They got to play out in the ring, man. And that's one of the things. Like the Hulk, man, I love the Hulk, right? But like I said, they put him in Thor Ragnarok with the World Breaker Hulk look, but he didn't have none of he didn't do what World Breaker Hulk does. It was the same Hulk with just a different outfit on. And that's what wrestling is doing a lot of. Like what's those dudes? The Viking Raiders? They come out to like zero reaction. The crowd don't even, they just sit there. Like that sexy chocolate moment. Like to give to my band. Remember that? Sexy chocolate. Sexy chocolate. The motherfuckers ain't cheer, they just looking. He good. You must be crazy. That boy good. You must be crazy. Yeah. One of the moments. They don't even, and they tried to give them that old school Viking look. It didn't work. Then they put him in jeans and whatever, jean shorts or whatever. Those characters, see, and the thing is, they just don't use them right. You can't have dudes come out there 290 pounds, 300 pounds, and you out here getting pinned by 160-pound dudes, a bunch of little luchadors, and you can't. And they got the belts, had the belts rather, until they lost them to the New Day. But bottom line, it's like, it's not just changing how somebody look or trying to give them you have to live up to it, man. They have to be able to go in and deliver, and the character has to be consistent. And I feel like people don't have interest in making sure that happens now. Just go in there and do some moves. I mean, that's all cool to have different characters, and that's the thing. But when you look around and see what characters are working, what characters are standing out in each company, right, and why, you have to think about that when you bring people in. So I'm saying, personally, for me, that'd be cool to see Braun Strowman, Shotzi, and if they get to that point where the WWE, not just because I can see they don't see any more value in Bayley, but when they finally get to the point where they can come out their faces and say it like Jonathan Coachman, and she says, okay, bye-bye, and they either cut her or she either asks for her release, she'll, if she was to come to AEW, my thing is, it's not like she's going to come in the ring and have like a whole new skill set. That's not what I'm saying. But I think she needs a makeover. I can sit here and give ideas and shit about what I think would be a cool gig for her, whatever. But they don't have too many female wrestlers that really. That's what I love about Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne has a presence, man. She has a look to go along with her wrestling ability. And they just turned Bailey to she just does moves, but there's nothing special about her. And her promo skills, the less she says, the better. I think she needs more of a focused, more serious character. I can see, like I said, I can see her and come over to look. I got, but I'm not doing all that shit. I ain't getting paid for that, you know. But I feel like even like Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is eye candy. She's okay in the ring. Chelsea Green could use a more serious approach, a more grown-up approach. More like a Mandy Rose type wrestler. More like a Mandy Rose type of, but just more mature about it. You understand what I'm saying? And be more of a technician in that ring. Reason being, Chelsea Green is silly. She is not taken seriously. And nobody's looking at Chelsea Green like a Bianca Belair or a Charlotte Flair or anybody like that. They're not looking at her as a Tiffany Stratton. She don't have that. So you see what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to see Chelsea Green come to AEW just to, okay, we got Chelsea Green. Okay, now what? Because you understand what I'm saying? I don't see her doing anything. I just don't. She's just being on a roster, being paid, but it's not doing anything to like. I don't see her being in great matches. Now, if Jade Cargill came back, right, she'll get a whole welcome back, right? We need the old Jade back or a new improved Jade. This Jade Cargill is all emotional, like she's all in her feelings, man, and like a little spoiled. I don't know what it is. Why they keep making these wrestlers like a bunch of spoiled little brats. They're unreasonable. They just claim things like as if they earned it. And there's no storyline where there's an actual beef, right? It's just like attitude. You like the one of the segment the other day with Jade and Tiffany Stratton before they went out and wrestled, and she's like, well, just stay out of my way. And I'm like, why is Jade smiling? Why is everybody in the fucking WWE always smiling, man? Like why? Why are you, what is all the smiling about? I just don't understand this shit. I don't. I just don't, man. You think I was a fucking, like, would that make any sense if I looked at shit? I'm so happy right now. I just feel like I'm just too happy. There's not enough happiness for one man. Do the look on my face match what I just said? If I sat here and said, man, I'm so miserable and like I feel like killing myself, I'm just, because if I don't, I'm gonna kill that person across the street from me. I just, like I hate that person so much, man. You be like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude, man? He's smiling, talking about being miserable and want to kill people. Then the motherfucker sitting there looking like he's pissed off and lonely, talking about how happy he is. That's the vibes I get. This is what I'm saying. It just, why the fuck is everybody smiling? Like there's no storylines. You see how Adam Page's story character is? Okay. If Adam Page is telling you he's an angry person, he has inside personal demons, but he's smiling and acting, you'd be like, he's not playing his character right. That's what I'm talking about. Every company should want someone that they have that potential and we know how to build and rebuild. And I just don't see professional wrestling seeming to understand the characters that you have. It's like okay, you have the Thunderbolts, right? Or you have the Teen Titans, but where's the Avengers? Where's the Justice League? You understand? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You got heavy hitters, but where's the big dogs? That's part of what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. And that's what wrestling not understanding. AEW is fine tuning and they're doing a lot of shit that's really solid. They're getting their young talent over. Oh yeah. By the way, I forgot to say this in my last two videos, but Rhino came out and wrestled against Nick Wayne. And for the people that's like, they were in Detroit, Rhino's from Detroit, so you knew he was going to get a great pop from the crowd, plus he's a legend in the game. But for the people that say, Nick Wayne should have lost, no, he shouldn't have. If Nick Wayne lost, that shows, okay, you still got a lot of growing to do. Why? Rhino is not at the top of the food chain. He's respected. And he's going to go in there and people are going to, the anticipation. Now, if you like Rhino and you're going, oh, he's my favorite wrestler. I really like Rhino. And yeah, okay, cool. You want to see him win. But no, he shouldn't have won. He didn't win and he shouldn't have. And for Nick Wayne, like Rhino losing does nothing, no foul, no harm to him. Him winning completely fucks up Nick Wayne. Especially when here's Rhino, who hasn't even been with the company. I don't know if he signed with them or if it's just a one and done. But however, no, Nick Wayne should not be losing to Rhino. Even if he has to cheat, he should not be losing to Rhino. Nick Wayne was supposed to win, and he did. But it was cool to see Rhino come out. But I've been seeing Rhino in TNA. I've seen him all over the independents. So it's not like, I haven't seen him throughout these years. I've seen Rhino more recently. So it wasn't like, oh, wow, Rhino, I haven't seen him in a long time. No, I've seen him more recently. But Rhino, that was a cool thing. And one of the things that's different, too, people got to understand something, right? When you bring somebody out because you're in their hometown, and they're a legend or whatever, great, that's all good. This has nothing to do with, I don't trust my younger talent. We need to bring a legend in to boost the ratings. That's not what that's about. This is a treat to the fans. And hey, if it boosts ratings, cool. But that's not what this is for. When The Rock is called upon, Undertaker is called upon, all these guys who don't even wrestle anymore, but they get called out to come and boost ratings. That's what the other company, that's what the WWE does, because they don't have the superstar power. See, and that's what people don't understand. When you sit and look at ratings, like people, their ratings is clear indications that they don't have superstar power. Okay? So when you sit up and talk about, like, there's a certain group of people that's going to watch certain things, right? Like, the NFL gets more views than the NBA. Okay? But if a basketball fan loves basketball and they watch basketball overall, can you tell them that the NFL is a better sport, the football is a better sport, and expect them to agree with you? Or vice versa? No. They like what they like. Companies, brands, genres, all this shit, people like what they like. It doesn't matter. It's one of those things, though, where if you look at the fact that you got storylines going on in WWE right now that weren't finished, storylines that nobody cared for right now, and they're complaining and they want to see change. Like, there's no actual build up to Backlash. Backlash is tomorrow, right? Tomorrow or Sunday, whatever. There's no real build up to this shit. There's no excitement or no build up to Backlash, right? AEW just had 2 back-to-back shows. 2 back-to-back Dynamite and motherfucking Collision. Now, somebody like Eric Bischoff would say some shit like, oh, Tony Khan don't want to admit that they moved the show to Thursday because of WWE. Like, bro, you always trying to create some controversy. You wrote the book, Controversy Creates Chaos. All you try to do is stir up some shit. That's just some dumb shit you made up. Let's say it's truth to that, right? Let's say. Okay? You want to know what's a fact, though? Well, it's a strong opinion. AEW just put on 2 solid back-to-back shows. WrestleMania weekend, the only fucking good thing came out of wrestling was AEW. And guess what? Looking at this Backlash card, both Dynamite and Collision are way better than what Backlash is going to be. And wait, you guys want to talk about booking matches? You guys want to sit here and talk about who put on the better shows? And here you got WWE bringing back 58-year-old Bill Goldberg. And like I said, my belief that if this is true that he's coming back, and this is what all the sources are saying, but if he comes back, I believe he's probably going to help Pat McAfee beat Gunther. He's probably going to come in and spear him out his boots or some shit and help Pat McAfee win. Gunther's going to be really, really, really embarrassed. He's going to need some redemption and payback. And then guess what? They're going to set up a match between him and Goldberg. And he'll probably go beat Goldberg. And then, you know what I mean? Probably wind up hurting Goldberg real bad or do something where they're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And all of a sudden now Gunther's back because of the embarrassment of him tapping out in like seconds to his own move to Jey Uso. This is WWE temperatures. That's what I'm saying. This is what. So if AEW brought Goldberg back, you know what you'd be saying? Oh, come on, man. Goldberg old now. Oh, come on. Goldberg. But it's funny. WWE does it. It's okay. No. Goldberg, Sting, Warrior. You know, a lot of different people. Kurt Angle, Lex Luger. You know, a lot of different people, man. A lot of people. Ron Simmons. I mean, I can go through a lot. It doesn't matter, man. These are all like people that you like as wrestlers and all that. It's a point in time, like I said, you got to know how to use these people. You have to know. You can't just put people in the ring, man, and just think that their star power is going to just automatically, oh shit, and the show's ratings are going to boost. No. And you got to remember one thing about professional wrestling people. It's every week. So if you're going to make storylines, the shorter the better. Hit it hard, fast, more impactful. Long storylines don't work. For the most part, for the reason that the time, they just come up with something. What's the best? And just come, right? And then they're not really well thought out. This is why you have a story like, I want you to be my champion. If you become my champion, I'll give you the keys to the kingdom. I'll give you everything. What, you gonna fuck him? Goddamn, what the fuck? Dude's already world champion. What the hell are you gonna give him that he don't already have? Right? Stupid storyline. Then all of a sudden, The Rock doesn't get involved anymore. Cody tells him to go fuck himself. John Cena comes up with whatever he can come up with to try to counter, to try to fit in. And he makes it about him versus Cody when it started with The Rock. It didn't start with John Cena. Dumbass storyline. And then what does your fucking CEO of the WWE say? Storylines don't have to make sense. Wow. But when I tell you them shits don't make sense, yes they do. But Aries, look. No. That shit makes no sense. There's storylines, period. They just come up with things. And he put the exclamation point on what I said to you guys. Being nasty with people, criticizing people, just being an asshole, nobody should put up with that. But being real about something and just respectfully, hey, like when I said what I said about even, okay, Max Caster's character, for example. His character is in transition. He addressed the fact I come out every week and tell everybody I'm the best wrestler alive. I lost and it hurts. Right? I lost again, right? They're taking his character somewhere else. Will he get a manager? Will he have a change in character? I believe so. He's becoming more comfortable with this character. You can see it. Okay? His transition, I don't know. Is he going to be more technical? Whatever. I don't know. But bottom line is, you're paying more attention to him, getting his ass squashed, right? This is one of the former Acclaim members, right? One of the hottest tag teams they ever had, right? So yeah, this is his transformation. Now, he's going to end up going from this to being more serious, and it's going to get to a point where he's going to be right back in the loop to where, guess what? Max is one of the reasons that people are watching this shit. You know, they want to see what he's doing. That's what they're trying to get him to. Anthony Bowens, he's leaps and bounds ahead already. They already want to see Anthony. You see the ovation he gets when he comes out. And it won't be hard to get Max there. They just got to do it right. And right now, what they're doing with this character, how he's coming out with the best wrestler alive, all that. So we'll see. But that's what this is. Now, at the end of the day, the transitions that you see in wrestling where, like, take Baron Corbin, for example, when he went to Happy Corbin. There was no lead up to it, no build up. It was just him coming out one day with a whole different character. When John Cena came out with the basic thugonomics, there was no it would lead up to it. He just came out one day with a whole different character. You understand what I'm saying? So Max's character, there's a lead up to it. That's what we're watching right now. This is what I'm saying. But these are the things that people won't give a chance to pay attention to or just purposely overlook it, because this is what I'm saying. These characters, when you see that everything's not going to happen the same exact way, and it shouldn't happen the same exact way. But you guys got to understand, man, that people are going to do things. And when they do things, they're going to, everybody's not going to always like it. I don't care what company it is. But that doesn't mean that, even if it's a bad segment or a segment that's just, whatever, that doesn't mean, it's like you having a bad day. Did you have a bad moment or did you have a bad day? Now, if you tell yourself you had a bad day because of a moment, okay. If you take it that way, then that's what it can lead to. I just had a bad day. Okay. But guess what, y'all? We are having some good things going on. You got to learn how to, you got to learn how to be able to put yourself in better situations. Like example, right? It's been raining all day today. Now, it's not summertime yet, but bottom line, let's say you want to do some outdoor activity. And you told yourself, damn, you know what? Saturday, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Friday, I'm going to do that. Yeah. And you making all these plans, but you don't check the weather. Now, all of a sudden, you like, yeah, we're going to hit the beach. Yeah, I'm going to get in the water. We're going to do this. But now you can't because it's going to rain. Now, are you just going to sit up all weekend sulking, or are you going to say, man, you know what the hell with that? Hey, what y'all want to do? Hey, whatever it is you choose to do, bottom line is, right, you can either do something or you can just sit there and sulk because of the rain. I choose to find something else to do. And that's what I do. So I'll go back to work. How was your weekend? My weekend was beautiful. How was your weekend? It fucking rained. I wanted to go to the fucking beach. And the weather was fucked up. Go figure, right? Just my luck. All right. So either you can find a way to put a smile on your face, or you can be just like that person telling you how fucked up their weekend is. Real simple. That's all I got for you guys right now. Catch you guys on the next video.